Genuine happiness is something we all want to achieve, and why wouldn't we? It goes without saying that there are so many benefits to happiness that significantly impact our quality of life for the better. Happiness improves our chances of success and influences our attitudes, relationships, and perspectives as we live our daily lives. It sounds so obvious, yet it's a challenge for most people to stay in this perpetual state of happiness, with only 14% of Americans reporting to feel very happy, according to the General Social Survey, the lowest number since 1972. So the big question is, what is the formula for a happy life? Enter the happiness equation. Written by best-selling author Neil Pasricha, this groundbreaking book captures the 9 secrets that the author discovered after over a decade of relentless searching to hack the secret to human happiness. A big thank you to Shortform for sponsoring today's video, as without their incredible book guides, we wouldn't have been able to bring you this content. Shortform make the best guides to non-fiction books and include detailed analyses which make it super convenient and helpful for us to research key ideas when making these videos. Not only are Shortform's super-powered book summaries incredibly detailed, but they include interactive exercises for you to apply and solidify the ideas you just learned, making it less likely you'll forget. And they also add smart insights, such as connecting ideas from one author to another, so you can develop an incredibly solid understanding as you build connections between ideas. On Shortform, you can gain new insights with its hyper-intelligent analysis about a book you've already read, or if you're short on time, learn the key ideas about a book you want to read before taking the plunge. Shortform publishes new book guides and articles every week and covers all kinds of interesting topics, including comprehensive summaries on psychology, self-improvement, and entrepreneurship. And subscribers also get to vote on what books they would like to see covered. Today, Shortform are providing Blokebox subscribers with 5 days of unlimited access and an additional 20% discount off the annual subscription. Join Shortform by clicking the link in the description below and get instant access to thousands of book guides for the price of just 1 book a month. Thanks to Shortform, we've been able to take away key ideas from the book The Happiness Equation. And in today's video, we're going to give you an overview of the 4 obstacles the author Neil Pasricha describes as standing in the way of happiness, and how the Sigma conquers these by using solutions described in the book. So let's begin with obstacle number 1, relying on external circumstances. Life, by its very nature, is unpredictable and full of challenges, obstacles, and difficulties, no matter who you are. No matter how hard you may try to influence circumstances to work in your favor, it rarely ever works out that way. Therefore, if you tend to base your happiness on what's happening externally, things that you have very little, if any, control over, then you are likely to go through life feeling pretty miserable. It's argued that it's not the unwanted situations and events that make you unhappy, but rather the way you think about them. Essentially, it's your negative thoughts regarding an event that are to blame instead of the experience itself. If you are often inclined to think negatively, realize that it's not you, it's evolution. Our ancestors were constantly on high alert in regard to danger, food, and shelter for survival. If they lowered their guard, they would make themselves vulnerable to threats from either predators or rivals. Fast forward thousands of years later, the world may have changed to a more comfortable way of living, but our instincts haven't. The difference is that now our focus has shifted to threats in the form of things that we don't have, or what we need to do to achieve what we want. This constant negative focus convinces us that we have limitless reasons to feel unhappy. The Sigma combats this happiness obstacle because he has trained himself to think positively, regardless of the circumstance. Sounds easier than done, right? Well, in fact, the Sigma achieves this in a variety of ways. One of those ways is by staying active. As he recognizes all of the benefits of physical activity, the Sigma regards his health as one of his main concerns and reaps the rewards such as emotional regulation, enhanced learning and memory, and increased self-esteem. Regular exercise also increases one's feeling of positivity and helps to reduce symptoms of depression, anxiety, and stress. The Sigma may put himself as his top priority, but he is also kind, generous, and empathetic, and is more than happy to share his skills, knowledge, and time with others without expecting anything in return, and this makes him feel good about himself. The trick is that to fully benefit from a good deed, you must release any expectation of gratitude or appreciation, or you put yourself at risk of becoming disappointed and therefore unhappy. Crucially, to stay positive, the Sigma also allows himself the time to switch off. He's very particular about having time to himself away from any distractions or obligations, and one of the primary reasons is that he needs this alone time to rest and recharge. By doing this, he can regain his energy to maintain a positive focus. This means when he's working, he's able to access all of his skills and knowledge and be fully engaged in the task. By focusing fully on what we're doing at a specific moment, we feel more positive and, as a result, more productive. Consequently, when we engage in intense focus, activity in the part of your brain that deals with insecurities and worries, the prefrontal cortex, is limited, meaning that unhappy thoughts are suppressed. The Sigma knows the benefits of good physical health, but recognizes those of mental health too. He's likely to adopt a daily mindfulness ritual, such as meditation, as these kind of rituals help to build your self-awareness, decrease feelings of anxiety, and encourage positive thinking about yourself, others, and outside circumstances. Lastly, the Sigma has a habit of thinking grateful thoughts. There are many mood-boosting effects of gratitude, and the Sigma makes an effort to focus solely on the positive things and experiences in his life, and reminds himself of the things he's grateful for and that he's lucky to have. Number 2. Seeking validation and approval from others. Humans are naturally social creatures that thrive in a community, but sadly this leads to many people basing their happiness off how they think they are perceived by others. They are approval seekers, and many of their goals exist only to try and gain approval from others, with their happiness tied up in how that makes them look. Psychologists agree that acting by conforming to an image that you think others want to see makes you unhappy, as by living in an inauthentic way, you may be pushed to behave in ways that undermine the things you really want. The Sigma male, on the other hand, is as authentic and non-conforming as they come. And he overcomes this obstacle by instead acting in a self-validating way. The opposite of approval seeking, he frees himself from this need for approval by accepting the person that he is and focusing on doing things for himself first and foremost. He doesn't care if everybody likes him or approves of him. The Sigma is comfortable knowing that he doesn't need to pretend to be someone else and to be appreciated for who he is by the people who matter most. This allows him to relax, to enjoy being himself, and encourages him to keep making decisions that contribute to his happiness. He practices unconditional self-acceptance because he relies on intrinsic rather than extrinsic motivation that comes from his inner self, and doesn't waste time worrying about how others see him. By seeking validation, we disconnect ourselves from listening to our own intuition. The Sigma is highly intuitive and is great at problem-solving and decision-making because he listens to his gut feeling when considering his next move. Sigmas are able to let go of other people's expectations and are willing to say no to things they don't want to do with ease. They focus on self-compassion by being kind to themselves when they make mistakes, always seeing them as opportunities to learn. Finally, the Sigma detaches himself from self-doubt by focusing on what he cares about and invests time in it. He has no time for thoughts that undermine his sense of self-worth. Number 3. Working for the weekend. Most people don't exactly enjoy working, and this could be blamed on the problematic Western attitude towards work. How we only value it in terms of how it financially supports us in our free time. The problems with this idea are twofold. Firstly, it suggests that happiness can only come when you have free time, and secondly, that work is what earns your free time and therefore happiness. These ideas are what bolster the opinion that work is only a means to an end that we must sustain and suffer through. Undoubtedly, this way of thinking negatively impacts our overall happiness, leading us to feel resentful and dissatisfied for most of our working lives. But for the Sigma, this obstacle is easily surmountable by focusing on work that satisfies him. There are exceptions, but for the most part, the Sigma will strive to choose work that aligns with his interests and passions. This explains how the Sigma stays so motivated, engaged, and productive with his tasks. By choosing a job he would be happy to do in his free time, he maintains his overall happiness. According to Pasricha's advice of linking your job with what you enjoy, you are more likely to achieve career success, which is why we see so many incredibly successful Sigma males. Being in this positive mental state has other benefits. For example, it allows you to identify your strengths, weaknesses, and unique talents, and then apply them to your goals, consequently achieving them. Now, before we tell you about the fourth and final obstacle to happiness, if you're enjoying today's video, help us out by liking and sharing it so we can keep bringing you more of the content you enjoy. And now, on to number 4, wasting mental energy. Mental exhaustion and unhappiness can stem from the combination of overthinking and overdoing. It's easy to fall into a pit of despair when it seems that your to-do list is never-ending and you're running yourself into the ground trying to catch up. Pasricha explains that we waste a vast amount of energy on insignificant and unnecessary decisions, which prevents us from feeling happy. And this isn't an exaggerated overemphasis by any means. In fact, research suggests that the average adult makes over 35,000 decisions in a single day. And most of these decisions are trivial and do nothing except to erode your goal progression and focus, wasting your time and energy to boot. We end up frustrated and unhappy with the feeling that we've never done enough, no matter how much we do or how hard we work. This is because instead of focusing on one thing for long enough, we try to multitask, which is not at all helpful, as the brain can only focus on one thing at a time. We are only able to switch our focus from one thing to another in rapid succession, and attempting to multitask effectively is about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Multitasking only serves to negatively impact your ability to focus, and the more you try, the more energy and time you waste in the long run. This results in making us feel like we've been busy, but in actual fact, we've been extremely unproductive. The Sigma gets the better of this obstacle by minimizing trivial tasks and decisions. He always tries to reserve his precious energy for the things that matter to him, and by doing so, he reduces the chance for stress, fatigue, and anxiety, and increases his physical and mental energy by removing the burden of making trivial decisions or doing trivial things. The extra gained energy allows the Sigma to engage wholeheartedly with what he's doing, focus with laser vision on what he wants to achieve, stay motivated, and maintain his high levels of creativity and productivity. Thanks for watching today's video, and make sure to let us know your thoughts on the happiness equation in the comment section down below. If you enjoy our videos, then please consider subscribing to the channel where we upload new videos every week. And be sure to click on the notification bell so you're always notified of our future uploads.